Welcome back to the St. Colette 2021 Bible Study Series. This topic this evening is the last session on the Dead Sea Scrolls. We ended last session alluding to the Temple Scroll, which is the longest scroll in Hebrew, brought into conformity three different legal collections, which are found in Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy, showing the importance of legal issues and how strict Qumran was. It's written in the first-person voice of God, in contrast to the first-person voice of Moses in Deuteronomy. First person suggests the scroll is to be seen as a revelation from God to the people of Israel, akin to early Christians, which saw the New Testament as revealed scriptures. The book of Psalms and the book of Job. Psalms is a well-preserved scrolls of many psalms, although in a different order, with 5 psalms added. A passage says the psalms were revealed to David. 6 scrolls were found in Cave 11, 31 found in other caves. The book of Job was preserved at Qumran in Aramaic, the oldest such translation, a forerunner of future Jewish translations. You see the Qumran area map with all the caves, including now Cave 12, found in 2017. Cave 12 is located west of the Qumran Plateau. It had been looted, probably by local Bedouin looking for valuable scrolls. No scroll was found, but jars in which scrolls and their coverings were found, indicating, according to scholars, that scrolls had been stolen. Pieces of linen that covered the scrolls and the Qumran-style jars, which we referred to, similar to the pattern of other manuscript caves, were found. A 13th cave may be nearby, according to scholars. However, its mouth is concealed, which means, according to scholars, there's a chance that Cave 13 has not been looted. The findings from Cave 12. On the left, artifacts are identified as they're removed in buckets and transferred to cardboard boxes for processing. The right picture shows some of the linen cloth. In addition to the Qumran sites, there were other locations which we'll talk about. There was a dedicated storeroom in the Ben Ezra synagogue in Cairo, Egypt, the fortress of Masada, which we've referred to earlier, the Bar Kokhba caves, and a grave in southern Jordan, which possibly, according to scholars, was looted. The first location, the Ben Ezra Synagogue in Cairo. See that on the left picture? On the right is the Geniza, which is the storeroom containing many packing crates and contents that were brought there by Solomon Schechter in 1897. The Masoretic text is one of the texts there, the oldest copy of the Bible in Hebrew. Transcripts from about 900 to 1009 of the Common Era. In Hebrew, Masorah means oral reading, a tradition of Jewish teachers from biblical into early medieval history. There were 230 copies of biblical books found, every book except Esther. It consisted of single stories, the only complete book being Isaiah. Documents from Masada and the caves near Ein Gedi, which we'll refer to, match this Masoretic text, indicating that sometime in the late 1st to early 2nd century of the Common Era, variant texts were no longer tolerated by the Jews. The next slide shows one of the findings, an autographed letter of Abraham, the son of Moses Maimonides, an Arabian philosopher. The number 2 location, Masada, you see it at the top of a mountain. This is the site of the Judean rebels' last stand during the 66 to 73 Common Era revolt against Rome. The Jews appropriated Herod's palace fortress. Manuscripts were not found in caves, but within the palace itself, in an area which seemed to be used as a synagogue. Biblical scrolls match the Masoretic text, suggesting a stabilized text was in place by the 1st century CE, as we said. There were also Greek and Latin copies of military documents of Roman soldiers stationed there after the time of the revolt. the Bar Kokhba caves. There were two of them. On the left, Wadi Murabat, also called Nahal Darga, and the right, the Nahal Hever Cave, the Cave of Letters. Wadi Murabat was discovered by Bedouin in 1951. Wadi Murabat, a ravine cut by a seasonal stream running from the Judean desert east to Bethlehem, past the Herodium down to the Dead Sea, 18 kilometers south of Khirbet Qumran on the west bank. Here, Jewish fighters hid in caves during the Bar Kokhba revolt, 132 to 135 CE. It was discovered by Bedouin in 1951. Most of the 170 manuscripts there found in 5 caves, which date to that Bar Kokhba revolt. It contained administrative documents written on papyrus, those financial records belonging to refugees seeking shelter from the revolt. Nahal Hever, also called the Cave of Letters, has 3 archives with precise dates ranging from 94 to 132 CE. There were 15 letters in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, most sent by Shimon Bar Kokhba, the leader of the revolt, in his name. There were 35 personal financial records belonging to a woman named Babatha, 5 contracts belonging to Eleazar, a farmer from Ein Gedi. The Cave of Letters was also called the Cave of Horrors. 40 skeletons were found, the remains of those seeking refuge during the Bar Kokhba revolt. Archaeologists found 3 small stones with writing scratched into them, placed on the skeletons, inscribed with their names. There's also a well-preserved scroll of the 12 minor prophets in Greek. The 4th location, the Dead Sea Stone, found in 2007, the stone, also called Gabriel's Revelation, is a stone tablet 1 meter high, so about 3 feet high, with 87 lines of Hebrew text written in ink rather than incised, containing a collection of short prophecies in the first person. Authenticated by the best paleographer of Hebrew in the world at the time, Ada Yardeni, the text contains a series of apocalyptic visions conveyed by the angel Gabriel. We get the sense that an enemy nearly destroyed the sons of the holy, but now their leader, the Prince of Princes, will arise and overcome the adversary. Much of this, of course, sounds like phraseology known from the New Testament, specifically the book of Revelations. There were revelations about Judaism revealed by the Dead Sea Scrolls. Qumran was much stricter in its interpretation of Jewish law than the rabbis. Qumran was at odds with its powerful Sadducee and Pharisee opponents, the former on religious political grounds, the latter on legal grounds. Judaism at this time was ripe with vitriolic sectarianism. And so we reach the end of the road. Essenism is dead. The brittle structure of its stiff and exclusive brotherhood was unable to withstand the catastrophic, striking the catastrophe striking Palestinian Judaism in 70 CE, the attack by the Romans. Animated by the loftiest of ideals and devoted to the service of perfect holiness, it lacked the strength, elasticity of thought, and depth of spiritual vision, which enabled rabbinic Judaism to flourish. And although the teacher of righteousness clearly sensed deeper obligations implicit in the Mosaic law, he was without the genius of Jesus, the Jew who succeeded in uncovering the essence of religion as an existential relationship between man and man and God. And we end with the goat, what we wouldn't have known without him. Thank you for joining me. Our next program will be on the Book of Wisdom. Thank you.